Good evening. Tonight we're very fortunate to have a special guest. I have been a big fan of Reverend G. Everybody calls him Reverend G. Reverend Roland Gordon of the Ingleside Presbyterian Church. Good evening, Reverend G. How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. We would like to talk to you about that church in the Ingleside, and I was there a couple of days ago, and the incredible work you have done with all those walls.
Oh, my madness, huh?
It's mesmerizing.
It
Remember, I was just following you around with my camera, as a matter of fact, and the audience would love what they will see. But all those pictures, how long have you been putting those pictures on the wall, and how long have you been in that site?
I've actually been at Ingleside for 30 years. I came as a seminary student. That church had actually died off to 4 people, and our structure, they didn't feel like it was going to succeed because it had gone through a number of full-time ministers, and so they brought me in as a seminary student just to keep the doors open on Sunday. My job was to just bring a message, keep a worship service going. But I saw it as a higher calling. I saw it as an opportunity to show what the power of faith in God could do. And also I saw the foundation of a great building. It was in disrepair, but you could still see at one point it was a proud church and well built. And so
it's beautiful.
Yeah, so what I did was came in and I considered myself the pastor of the church, not just a seminary student. And because of my athletic background, I saw the indoor gymnasium. I immediately knew that with my basketball background, the way that I could possibly rebuild a ministry there would be with the young boys in the community. And that's what I did. I began to have a basketball program. As soon as I opened that door up, I mean, kids came from everywhere.
Yes.
And so one day I got the idea of just putting a picture of my hero, Muhammad Ali, up on the wall.
Was he the first one?
That was the first picture that I put up. Put the image of Muhammad Ali up on the wall because of what he stood for, especially against war and destruction. I was really a proud person, really proud of him, one of my heroes. And then I put another picture up. I saw the guys go look at Muhammad, put a few more up, and they kept going, they kept reading. And I got to brainstorm that these guys may not read their history books, African-American books, black history, but they'll read the wall. I had absolutely no idea it was going to be as extensive as it has become. But I just kept going. And the people used to laugh at me, telling me, you're a grown man, the pastor of a church around there cutting out paper dolls. And again, I didn't have a vision of the gymnasium, the project being as extensive as it is now. But I just kept going and kept going.
So you start from the basement?
No, right in the gym. I started in
the gym. Okay, the gym.
But now I'm in the basement.
Okay, okay.
And all over the church. In fact, they call it the museum now.
Exactly. When I went to the bathroom, I passed through walls with pictures.
History is everywhere. I believe the images, you see many of the African-American youngsters have low self-esteem. And so images are important. And so when you add up the score, in fact, I had one young guy that came in one day. I was at the far end of the gymnasium, and I saw him when he walked in. And he saw the collage for the first time, and I could see his reaction was a real positive one and shocked to see so many pictures. And he started looking up and down and just walking around. And he finally got to me, and he told me, "Boy, we've done it, haven't we?" And I said, "Right on."
We just started, right?
He got the idea behind what I was trying to do, and that is to show you name the area, you name the profession, and you got outstanding African Americans achieving. So if they can achieve, then that means also a young person can get the idea, I can do it too.
Exactly.
So when you add all these images up, all these positive role models, it's a great thing for young people. So that was the actual genesis of it. And I've seen and I've heard from young guys who are now grown, because I've been there 30 years, and they come back and they've told me what, you know, the influence that some of those images have had on what they decide to do professionally. You know, some guys have gone on to doctors, some lawyers, and I mean, great individuals. I came to Ingleside in the fall of 1978 and learned of this ministry had died down to 4 people, and the church could not afford a full-time clergy. I had just enrolled in seminary school that summer, and some of the guys up here knew that I had been doing a little preaching at least before I enrolled in seminary. And they asked me to come out and interview for the position of interim student pastor, actually, to preach on just Sunday mornings and to keep the worship experience going here at Ingleside. But I saw this gymnasium, and I saw the foundation of a great church and a great ministry, great building, just needed to be refurbished, and came in, and because of my athletic background, I was a former high school, I like to say star because I did do pretty well. Went on to college, Baldwin-Wallace College, and picked up my basketball career there. And when I finished, and again, coming to this gymnasium, it was a natural for me, and I could foresee running programs here with children. And that's what I did. I opened up the gymnasium, and the boys just started coming from all over, and ran leagues and got coaches together. And anyway, bottom line, one day I put up a picture of my idol, Muhammad Ali, and I just glued it to the wall. And I watched the guys, they all came over, and they started looking at Muhammad, the champ, and so on and so forth. And then I put up a couple more pictures. And Paul Robeson, you know, Wilt Chamberlain, Jackie Robinson. And again, I saw the guys would come over, and they would, every picture I put up, they would come up and ask the name or call out the name themselves. And I got the idea, I said, you know, these guys may not read their black history books, but perhaps they'll read the wall. And I started pasting and gluing various people, first of all, my heroes, and introducing them to various people, Sidney Poitier, do here, as far as add up the score to show these black children that in any field that you look at, you've got outstanding black people that rise to the top of whatever field it is, and if they can do it, you can do it also. That these stereotypes that you hear about black people, it's not true at all. That we have some great minds, just like we're all just human beings, and you know, what others have done, we can do also, and what we've done, others can do also. But the bottom line is, you're not the stereotype that people try to make you to be, that you can't learn, and that we're lazy type of people and all this kind of stuff. And I think as I watch the kids over the years, many of them have gone on, and they come back and have told me about what this wall and the inspiration of seeing people in certain fields, medical doctors and attorneys, and you name them, what it meant to them in their psyche as they grew up, and could see that, hey, we can learn, we can be whatever we want to be if we are willing to put the time and energy and the discipline necessary. We can be. We've got a great heritage, and it extends not only past and through slavery, but it begins on the continent of Africa, where civilization has been proven to have begun, that we all are from Africa, is really the bottom line. And so this wall, again, Mayor Brown tells me this will be my legacy to the city of San Francisco, that, and I take it serious when he told me that, hey, you know, if this is going to be my legacy, it's got to be a great legacy. I've got to, you know, do the best I can, that when I'm off the scene, that people for years to come can come in here, and not just African Americans, but people of all races, creeds, and colors can come and see that the truth of the matter is, you know, black people have contributed vastly to civilization. And in fact, again, I'll say it again, it all began in Mother Africa. And so science and mathematics and astrology, you name it, it all began right there on the continent of Africa. But this is, again, my legacy, and I want it to be a great one, that I can be off the scene, off the set, but still know that young people are coming in here and learning about their heritage. And I hope to see at some point in time the Unified School District take advantage of the fact that you know, these young kids can learn, they can see their culture on the walls. When you look at all these different areas, great physicians, brain surgeons, and whatever, that it's going to inspire them to go ahead and do great things themselves. And but to learn from this wall. And again, I watched people. One day I was in the gymnasium just shooting around, and all of a sudden I saw this kid come in, and he had a look on his face like, like he had seen a ghost almost. And I've seen that look on a lot of people's faces when they come in for the first time and see the vastness of this wall. But anyway, I watched him. He was going up and down and looking at all the different pictures, and took his time. And he finally got to me at the other far end of the gymnasium. And he said, wow. He said, we've done it, haven't we? And I said, wow, to myself. I said, he's gotten the message that you named the field, and you've got outstanding African Americans reaching to goals and to heights that most of our great human beings, you know.
You have a lot of programs going on in that church too,
Lots of
right?
programs.
You've got food banks.
We got the food bank. That program actually happens on Thursday. In cooperation with the food bank, they bring out the great food, and all we do is distribute it to the community. And it's kind of funny, because here we are, predominantly African American ministry, but on that day, that particular Thursday, we have Thursday and Friday food programs. But that Thursday program is predominantly Asians and Chinese, and but you know, as I tell my people, hey, look, it's about serving humanity. And our motto is service to God through service to humanity. And we learn to respect everybody. And it's just a beautiful thing to see all races coming together to help each other and uplift each other. And here we are in the middle of just all sorts of cultures, just like San Francisco. But yeah, that food program for Thursday's group, then the Friday group is in cooperation with Trader Joe's. They bring
Trader Joe's?
Yes, good food.
They have good food, yeah.
Great food. And
I want to go there.
And so we, again, we go, and the representatives go to the Trader Joe's and gets the food, and they bring it back, and then lay it out with the volunteers, and the community comes in, and they distribute it to the people coming in.
You have child care too?
We used to have child care.
Oh, okay.
Now, we had what was called a Child Observation Center for, good 20 or so years.
What is that?
We'd have the young mothers would come in with their children, and we'd have teachers there to help them learn educational things and just give them support for young children until they get ready to enter kindergarten, but early education. It was called.
How many kids do you have?
Oh, we used to have, I would say up to 20, 25 kids with their parents and stuff would be there. We had a senior center there for some 40 years, and that center joined with another center up the street on Ocean Avenue to give them a larger gathering of people. It's the Ocean Avenue Senior Center, I think about 19th and Ocean Avenue. That's where it's located. Right. But we had our own center for some 40 years before they joined with that center to give it a good core. Right.
There's a lot of activities going on in that church.
Yeah, well, we just recently started a computer class for seniors.
Oh my God.
And it's just a joy to watch those seniors. They're dedicated. They come Mondays, I think Mondays and Tuesdays, but the Monday group, I mean, they literally want to break the door down if you're not there on time. They come at 10 o'clock, and I mean, they're there every Monday.
What do they do? They go on MySpace?
They learn, well, they know websites. They know how to do your email. They know how to do their banking online. And so we got a great instructor. And so they are really excited about, being hooked up to modern technology. And they come studiously, and they're serious about that computer class. And then, of course, we have, through the community center, we have after-school tutorial programs happening.
All right. How many kids
mentoring,
go there?
Sometimes up to 40 sometimes. It's and again, in that case, it's predominantly Asian and Chinese, but sometimes I'm sitting out front and I watch the kids, and they literally are running to get to those classes, to get to the computers. Wow. And it's exciting to see that, we really are making a difference in the lives of these young folks. Yeah. And in fact, one year over the years, one kid won the California website contest. So we're real proud of that.
Oh, really?
But yeah, and a number of them have gone on to higher education, universities, and engineers, and they're doing it. So we're making a difference in that community.
I think one time when I went to your church, I thought you had like a wall of kids. One day you were very upset because there was one teenager was killed from the neighborhood.
Okay.
And so you have these people from the neighborhood who's...
Okay, the first person to get killed in the community was a young brother by the name of William Hankston. And he was actually one of my youngsters when I first got there. That was a part of my basketball programs.
Right, exactly.
So I did take that really personally because, but not only him, but also his brother Keith Hankston was also later he was killed all by gunfire. And then it was two sets of brothers, the Hankston brothers, and also what's the brother's name? Eric and Derek Martin. Some beautiful kids. You know, so for me, to see these young guys were part of my program, my basketball programs, and to see them, you know, wind up being killed at early ages, young ages. I mean, with a whole lot of life, a lot of potential. Very brilliant young guys, actually. So. Yeah, I take it very personally. But many other guys have made it through, and it's really a joy when they come back with their children. I've baptized a few of them, and they all tell me how much those programs meant to them to get them off the street. They would say, we've been caught up in some of the stuff that have gone down in the communities if you didn't have those doors open. So it really gives my heart a lot of joy, especially to see these guys come back in their 30s and 40s now with their young children, their young family, meeting their wives, and they tell about, and they look on the wall, and their pictures on the wall too. I try to capture history. And so people that come through the building, I tell them, you give me a picture and it's going to go up. And so some of the programs we have, I actually take my camera out and record. So I've recorded some of these guys when they were 10, 11, 12, not in their 30s and 40s, and they come back and showing their families when they were part of our program. It's a real sense of great joy for me to know we've made a difference in someone's lives.
You are really making a lot of difference, especially right now. I think it's important to give these kids some kind of hope, you know.
Well, many of them don't think education is important. And that was one of the things I've always stressed, that education, and as well as your spiritual life, but that education was critical to, I mean, where you can go in the future. If you don't have the education base, you know, it's hard to move, and the future belongs to those who are educated. And I tell them how, you know, statistics show that the greater education, the more money you're going to make. You don't have to look over your shoulder. The guys out there dealing that stuff, and you're either going to wind up in jail or you're going to wind up 6 feet under the ground. I tell them, I say, stick with that education and get that. So quite a few of my young guys have made it through, and young ladies too, and I'm really proud of that. We also incorporated the Thad Brown Boys Academy. It was originally a boys academy, named after the first tax collector, African-American tax collector for the city and county of San Francisco, Thad Brown, the late Thad Brown, who became a very close friend of mine and who supported our ministry. And so we named the school in his honor. My structure, the Presbyterian structure, back in 1970 or 80 something, by 86, I think, they, at one of our national meetings, they proclaimed African-American boys an endangered species. And so I got the vision of, hey, I got to do something to help these guys. So we opened up an after-school academy in Thad Brown's honor, and provided mentors, and took them on field trips, particularly to colleges, so they can get an idea of what it was like to be on a college campus. And I mean, those guys went on and have done very well. As of late, it was changed over to a boys and girls academy, and they've got other visions now and doing other things, but still working to help the young people. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, this seems to be the only solution to. There's a lot of gang violence going on in the various neighborhoods in the city, and there's a lot of juveniles. Problems and so forth. So this kind of program that you have is a way to really save these kids.
Now, one thing I required, and some of the guys, they laugh at me now, but I required that to be a part of my basketball league, and I'm a former high school and college athlete, not just an athlete. I worked hard, and I like the idea when they tell me you were a star athlete, because I put the time in, and I got all my awards and stuff on the wall. There, so kids can know, hey, this is just no joke. I was seriously considering that I was going to be in the NBA, but life had a different twist for me, and I wound up that God had a greater call on my life than the basketball floor did. But the bottom line, I lost my point on that one, Myrna. The bottom line is that you know, using my background.
Right, exactly.
And I tried to be a role model and take them in as friends. In fact, most of the kids, even to this day, they would call me Roland. Here I am, the Reverend of the church. The older people called me Reverend Gordon, and the kids called me Roland. Sometimes I hear them talk, we're going down to Roland's, you know. But the bottom line, just being exposed and being there, stressing the importance of education. I mean, that was one of the things, and the spiritual side of life. I would require that they, out of one Sunday out of the basketball year, they had to come and be a part of our ministry, come to church and come hear something.
Do you want to expand your programs? Do you think, I mean, there seems to be quite a bit of a need.
Yeah, what I did, not personally because of what I've been doing for so many years, I'm known, all across the nation, and so I can't be there hands-on with a lot of stuff that I did as a younger minister. But we got a great executive director in Monique Martin. So what I did was we incorporated that community center in order for the community center to take over where I was trying to do things and putting my time in. We incorporated a separate nonprofit Ingleside Community Center. And now with Monique Martin, very brilliant young lady, we encouraged her to go forward. She got her master's degree. And so she also is stressing education to those children. But, it takes money. But we about the spiritual side of life. You get that together, then you get disciplined in all other areas of your life.
Yeah, I grew up a Catholic myself. I think it's good for kids to have some kind of spiritual experience, some kind of religion, because even, say, after they grow up, they decided to change religion. But I think it's good for one person to believe in something bigger than themselves, like a higher power.
I agree.
Because it grounds you. I mean, look at all these countries where they're poor people, but with the say Catholicism in a lot of these countries, it strengthens them, it grounds them.
Now, see, one thing that I perceive is that people get a little piece of the sun. I like to say a ray of the sun. I mean, I'm talking about different religions, and they think they got the whole sun. When the truth of the matter is, the power is a positive force for everybody. We need to learn how to honor everybody, and I like to use the word love. That if you learn how to love and honor and respect everybody, that's what the higher power is all about. There's a text in our Bible, Christian Bible, 1 John 4:7 and following, that says, "They who love are born of God and know God. They who do not love do not know God, for God is love." And when you think about it, love is the common ground that would bind everybody together. You don't care what religion you are, you can put the religions on the shelf. If we can learn how to honor, all we're talking about now is honoring, lifting other people up, not tearing them down, not destroying life, but building life. And so for me, that's the common ground that regardless of who you are, if you learn how to honor and respect another human being, we're talking the same language. But all over the world now, it's hatred. I mean, people just, for wrong reasons, greed. I mean, greed is just engulfed this nation, and many do care about their fellow man, but many don't care about their fellow human being. And it's tragic. I mean, and our children are inheriting a world that I just feel sorry. Sometimes I just weep in my spirit to think that the adults today don't understand what their actions are doing to those who are going to follow us, what it means to these children, to not have money to get books in these schools or whatever, provide the best education that these children deserve. I mean, we put all this money in war, such as what's going on now. I mean, it's really tragic that just billions and billions of dollars being wasted when we could be looking out for the future of this nation and also looking out for people all over the world, even right now. I believe that there's enough wealth around the world.
There's a lot of wealth
for no one to be hungry all over the world. It could be a whole nother ball game if people were not so selfish. How much money do you need? And it's just so much
let's face it. If you already have $10 million, how much more do you need?
How much do you need? Yeah, I don't need $1 million. Give me one. But
do you think that our neighborhood has changed that much since you've been there?
Well, over the 30 years.
100 years, right? 100 years.
Well, that ministry, we just celebrated our 100th anniversary. Well, that's a long time.
You're not 100 years old.
No, not me. Our ministry was, in fact, started in 1907, right after the 1906, the great earthquake, when people moved out to camps, lived in camps out there in the Ingleside area. And so a missionary, I think her name was Laura Sawhill, and one of the ministers there, they began to help feed those people out there. They would also help provide religious education for the children and for the families. And that's how our ministry, Ingleside ministry, got started. And we were the first Protestant ministry out in that area, the Ingleside area. And in fact, 9 different churches met at our site when we built the building, which the original building burned in 1918. Our present structure was completed in 1923 and dedicated, and of course included an indoor gymnasium, and the name was changed to Ingleside Community Church and Social Services Center because of the involvement. They wanted to be involved in the entire community. And so when I saw that and read that history, I just picked up the same vision that where they left off at, to open our doors to the whole community. In fact, the community donated something like 25% of the funds needed to rebuild the present structure after the fire. They did solicit the community. And so we are a true community. I like to tell people we are the heartbeat of the Ingleside community. All the various community meetings basically happen there at our site. And when I see anybody with any positive thing that they want to do, I try to help and open our doors up and provide meeting space and any kind of counseling, anything I can do to help to make good happen for people. That's my commitment, and that's what our ministry is committed to. And again, I think we've done a halfway decent job. From being a church that was about to be closed, we were selected in 2000 by a national study funded by the Lilly Foundation. We were selected one of the top
Congratulations.
Top 300 Protestant churches in the United States of America.
Wow.
I'm very proud of that, you know, that we
That's
have served
great.
people. Yeah, you know, we've come a long ways, and the best is still yet to come, I believe, you know. But we got a great foundation. And
your place is fun too.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of fun. We're loose, you know. I'm a loose person. I like to have fun.
I've attended a couple or 3 of your worships.
Yeah, we're loose.
It's very colorful, very
we're free.
Musical,
yeah,
very.
The people are free. You know what I mean? They want to say something, they get up and talk. You know what I mean? And give everybody an opportunity to be who they are. But I'm really proud of this opportunity to share about our ministry.
Oh, great! It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Reverend.
Yeah, thank you
Really
very much.
A pleasure.
Praise God.